hello to everyone. My name is Sandeep. I am working as an assistant professor in the Department of Information Technology of MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. So in previously, we discussed about what types of arguments in a Python function. So we have two types of arguments, that is formal arguments and actual arguments. So formal arguments is known as at the time of function defining whatever we are going to pass the parameters, that parameters is called formal arguments, and whenever we are going to pass the values at the time of function calling, that values is called actual arguments. But here we have the four types of actual arguments. So positional arguments is also known as required arguments, and next one here is keyword arguments. So that is the thing we discussed in last discussion. And next we have the remaining two arguments are there, that is default argument and variable length argument. Within that we discuss that local variable, global variable and global function. So first we will discuss about the default arguments. So here what is the default argument? Default argument means at the function defining only we can pass the values. So that is called default arguments. That means at the time of function defining, whatever you are going to pass the values, that values will be default values. It means if you are not going to pass any value at the time of function calling, then the default value will be assigned. Or if you pass any value at the time of function calling, then this value will be assigned to this one. Right. Let me see one example. See. So def name. Okay, na? So for example, f name comma l name equals to, for example, here l name is Python. Okay, now print f name and then l name. Now we are calling the function. Now at the time of function calling, you can pass value, for example, what Java. Then enough. So what will be happen? Now the Java value will be assigned to the f name, but I did not pass any value to the l name parameter. But here assign the default value. Then the default value will be assigned, even though the programmer not pass the value to that l name parameter. Here the default value will be assigned. Now see, I save this program. What happened? Yeah, here I did not keep that colon because of Java Python. For example, if you want to assign some value for the l name also, yes, here also you can assign. For example, what is that one? .NET. Okay, now see Java.NET. It means whenever the programmer does not assign or does not pass the value to the parameter, then at the time of function defining, whatever the value is assigned to that parameter, that value will be assigned as a default value. That value will be assigned. So in previously what I did here, I did not pass the value to the l name, but even though what happened here, the default value will be assigned. Now I pass the value to the l name parameter. Now instead of the default value, the programmer passed value that is assigned. So that is the default parameters. So default type arguments. So default type arguments is what? Whenever the programmer does not provide the values at the time of function calling, then at the time of function defining, whatever the value is defined, that value is considered as a default value and assigned to that parameter. Right? So that is called default arguments. Next, we have the variable length arguments. So variable length arguments here is nothing but what? See, for example, def, okay na, m1 a comma b. So a plus b. Here my requirement is I need to add the only two numbers. But next time if I want add the more, that is three numbers, again I have to define def m1 and pass parameters a comma b comma c. If I want to add, no, it's okay. If I want to add four values, then again I have to define def m1 a comma b comma c comma d. Like that one, four parameters I need to pass. So this, because of this one, readability of the program will be decrease, right? So for that purpose, to overcome this problem, we have that variable length arguments. We have that variable length arguments. That means sometimes the programmers wants to pass more arguments than defined in the actual function. So at that time we can use what? Variable length arguments. Variable length arguments. Now see here. Okay na? See. Def sum a comma b. Now print a plus b. Now sum 10 comma 20. Right? Now see what happened. Right, here I missed that colon, one side. See, 30. But if I want to perform addition operation on three variables, then again I have to define def m1 a comma b comma c. Like that one. If I want to perform the addition operation for four values, again I have to define that function. So like that one, number of parameters are going to increase, then the function has to be defined the number of times. So this is the problem. So to overcome this problem, here variable length arguments is introduced. This variable length arguments means what? So just define that parameter, and before that parameter just keep that asterisk symbol. Then you can get any values. See, let me see an example. Okay, so colon and then a. Right, now see, for example, here see, if I want to pass that three values, okay, see. Now a of 0 plus a of 1 plus a of 2, that's it. So any number of values you can pass. Now 10 comma 20 comma 30, right? Now see 60. For example, if you want to perform a addition operation on four values, then a of 3, then just simply 40 without writing another function or without writing one more function, right? Now see 100. So like that one, you can add any number of elements by using which argument? Variable length argument. Okay, variable length argument. So this type of arguments is nothing but what? Arbitrary argument, and this type of argument is called keyword arbitrary length argument or keyword arbitrary argument, and this one is what? Just arbitrary argument. Arbitrary argument. Okay, so that is about what? Variable length arguments, right? Next, local variables. So what is this local variable? So when the programmer declare a variable inside a function, it becomes a local variable. Okay, now see. So def m1, right, a equals to 2. Now print a. Okay, now function call. Now we'll get what? See, that value. So here where we define that variable a inside the function. So now this type of variable is called local variable, but you cannot access that variable from outside of the function. See, we'll get an error. That means you cannot access that local variable from outside of the function. That means the scope is for the local variables is very limited. Okay, very limited. So this is called what? Local variables. So when the programmer declares a variable inside a function, it becomes what? A local variable, right? Next, global variable. So what is this global variable? Means a variable is declared outside of the function, that is above a function, then that variable is called global variable. But that variable we can access from any function, right? So let me see an example. So a equals to 2, right? Now def m1, so print a. Okay, next def m2, right? So colon, and here also colon, right? Now print b, right? Now see, m1 function will be printed and m2 function will also be accessed. That means 2 times that a value will be printed, that is 2, right? Yeah, indentation is missing, I'm sorry. Right, now see, right, print a. So here also I need to print a only. Okay, so 2, 2. Okay, so that is what? Global variable. A variable which is declared outside of the function, that is which is above the function, then that is called global variable, and that global variable can access from anywhere, from any functions. So that is called global variable. Next we have the one function, that is global keyword. So what is the purpose of the keyword? Means sometimes the global variable and local variable may have the same name. So local variable and global variable may have the same name. So in that case we have to refer. In that case, by default the function will be refer the local variable and ignore the global variable, right? For example, see, okay, a equals to 2, def m1, okay, now a equals to 1. Now print a, right? So m1 function is calling. Now say here global variable name is a and local variable name is a. But what happened here? By default the function gives the priority to the local variable only. See, what is the local variable value? 1, right? So that 1 will be printed. It ignores the global variable. But as a programmer, I want to access the global variable also from the function or by using the function. So at that time we have to use that global function like this one. Okay, na? Global function, right? So let me see, right? So global, right, function, and that index, what is the name of the variable? A. Okay, na? What is the name of the variable? A. So that is the global function. We can consider what? Global function, or we can, yeah, global functions. So this function is inbuilt function. So once the result came and assigned to the value x, okay, na? And assign the value to x. Now see, right? So here globals function, inbuilt function. Now the result will be assigned to x or some variable. Okay, now see, print x, print x. Now see, by using function we are going to access what? Local variable and global variable. So when we are going to use the global function? Whenever the local variable and global variable having same name, local variable and global variable having same name, at that time this will be useful, right? So this is about what? Global functions, right? Next, right? So finally this is summary of that discussion. So default arguments, which is provide the default values from the parameters at the time of function defining, and if any argument is not passed by the if any argument is not passed at the time of function calling, then the default value will be useful, and here the positional arguments will be helpful. Next, variable length arguments. Here variable length arguments is two types. One is arbitrary arguments and second one is keyword arbitrary arguments, as we discussed now, right? So accepts any number of positional arguments as a tuple, accepts any number of keyword arguments as a dictionary, right? So this is the two types of arguments. One is arbitrary arguments and next one here is keyword arbitrary arguments, right? So this is about what? See here, right? So this is the differences: keyword arbitrary arguments and arbitrary arguments. Keyword arbitrary arguments means two asterisk symbols and just arbitrary arguments means one asterisk symbol, right? So that is the differences between what? Variable length arguments, right? Next, local variables and then global variables, and also we discuss that global function, right? Thank you.